Welcome, NASA HUNCH Academy students and teachers. In this investigation station, we are going to act as plant scientists and extend the life of our tomato seeds that grew into plants, or even you can plant something other than the tomato seeds that you worked on the other investigation station of tomato spheres. And I've actually done this project. I let my tomato sphere seeds germinate, and I recorded that date. But then I kept watering them and letting them grow, and I kept doing several things that plant scientists would do. So, as a plant scientist, I wanted to carefully observe how this plant was growing, and so I counted the number of leaves that it had in the past month, and it started with actually these two leaves right here, and then it got a little three-leaf thing, and then it got more leaves. So it continually grew more leaves. This plant is about 4 inches and it's about uh, 6 weeks old now. So, observations, did it look healthy? And that I determined by the color of the leaves and even the way it grows. If it wasn't growing and getting more leaves, I would think something was wrong with it too. But I had to ask a question. So my question was, how long could I keep these plants alive just giving them water? And they have been sitting outside. Because it's summertime and they love the sun, needless to say. Could I keep them alive for 30 days? Because when we send plants to the space station, they're going to be alive in the space station for 30 days. And my hypothesis or my prediction was, yeah, the plants could definitely stay alive for 30 days and not be too big to outgrow the space that I was going to allot it to in the last investigation station, which is a nanolab, which is only 4 by 4 by 8 inch square prism. So this plant only grew about 4 inches. So I think in 30 days it would stay within that. My hypothesis is I predict that it would be just a perfect plant to place in the nano lab on the space station. Um, and then I had to test what I my hypothesis, and I did by growing the plant and keeping measuring it. But when you're growing plants, and I have a whole plate of them here, and I have two plates actually. This is just one. This is the Y plants. When you're growing plants, especially in an indoor environment, you have to make sure that they are getting the same treatment. They're all getting the same amount of light, they're getting the same amount of water, because that will make a difference in the growth of the plant. And really the growth of the plant is what we are observing. And so actually I was really lucky. I didn't put the soil up to the top of the little pot. It is about a half inch below the top, and then when I poured water in it, I just put the water up to the top so that every plant got the water up to the top of its little pot, not over it. That would make a mess, but just right up as close as I could to the top. So they got the same water. What about the light? Well, I'm on my porch and they're sitting on the table, and you can even see now the sun is out, and you can even see that some of them are actually bending towards the light. And these two, you can, I don't know if you can tell, but the plant is bending to the light. So in order to make sure they all had the same light, I actually kept rotating the plate so that the plant would actually start to grow straighter and everybody would have their chance, every plant would have their chance in the sun. Um, what else did I do to make sure they're all the same? I absolutely used the exact same mixture of soil. I planted them the same day, and I made sure they got the same temperature. So temperature is important too. So they were all sitting out the table, out on my porch. So they all had the same temperature for day and night. These are what we call variables. And when you're doing an experiment, you got to make sure you control your variables if that is an important aspect of your experiment. The other important thing is um, you have to also be able for somebody else to come along and 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 redo your experiment. So you have to keep a documentation that explains exactly what you did, what seeds you got, where you got them, what soil you used, what pots you did, any links. So we want your plant in space experiment to be repeatable. And this requires a lot of effort of keeping track of exactly what you did each day. Um, there's some wonderful videos, even of astronauts talking about their plants in space on this project, and you can keep a notebook. You can write a notebook, all the information down in one notebook. You can put it on your laptop or your Chromebook, or you can just use paper. But I want you to write down the important dates, the important observations, and you don't have to do it every day. So, but you do have to water your plants every day, which might be a problem um, uh, on the weekends or any vacations. Somebody might have to take those plants home with them if they need water during the weekend or on a vacation. Also, the temperature of your school might change. Maybe on a space station where your plants can grow and produce even fruit for the astronauts to eat. Thank you all so much, and I hope you enjoy this investigation station.